But a great discussion we have now. We'll be looking at the stories that have been trending and making headlines in social media. But before that, this morning I'm joined by Njeri Wangare, who's Director of Programs at BAKE. And BAKE is Bloggers Association of Kenya. So I want to talk first about issues blogging. So we keep hearing about bloggers like Alai, who we've seen at least, twice now on the show, and different others, Itumbi, and many, and quite a number of different topics are covered on these blogs. And people have personal blogs as well, where they write their own issues. So all manner of blogs. So today we demystify that for you. When we're talking blogs, what are we talking about? Is just one thing you open, have some URL and put on manner of things online, or is there some system or some direction in this blogging business? So stay with us with this conversation. Njeri, karibu sana. Thank you for joining us. So blogging, where did this whole idea come from? We never used to talk about bloggers and blogging in the 70s, or did we? At least in Kenya.
Well, no, actually blogging, I'll say blogging in Kenya started off in the early 2000, because I remember that's the time I got to know about the very fast bloggers, very fast initiatives of blogging in Kenya, and there were a handful. I think I can just name about 5. There were that few, and since then it has come a long way to the point where we're actually talking about it now, and that has necessitated the need for the whole body of bloggers to form an association. So it's mostly Kenyans looking for an avenue for expression, and looking at the internet statistics, Kenya is at the forefront, is leading when it comes to internet usage. You wouldn't believe that we are surpassing Nigeria in the number of internet, in the number of in the number of people on the internet. Yet Nigeria's population is much bigger. We're only second to South Africa. So that tells you a lot, that there are a lot of Kenyans who are online, and a lot are using blogs and microblogging platforms like Twitter and Facebook to not just express themselves, but to also talk about a lot of other things.
Right.
Yes.
Wow, amazing. First, I'm still at the statistics on us being way above Nigeria, because I know, very many, and we've had the twists between Nigeria and Kenya. Someone tell Nigeria, someone tell Kenya. So there's been a weighing of muscle in terms of who's going to say what on social media in the two countries. But let's get into blogging. What's the idea? What's the spirit behind, other than you've said, people want to express themselves, but what do we see a lot, especially in the Kenyan internet space online? What is it most of the bloggers are seeking to put out there online?
Okay, at the moment, because as I said, blogging has gone through lots of phases. Initially, it started off a lot with political discontent, because I'll mention bloggers like Room Thinker, Kenyan Pundit, Mental Acrobatic. I'm using their Twitter handles. When they were starting off, it was mostly discontent, looking for a space where they can express themselves over issues that were happening, mostly politically. Over time, what we've come to see is that there is a lot more diversity in the content that is appearing in blogs. Right now, what has become more popular or famous is gossip blogs, and but that does not mean that there are other subjects are not covered, because what we are seeing a lot more of is creative writers, myself included, are going into the blogging space to use it as a means to self-publish. We see a lot of creative writers, that's poets, novelists. We see a lot of political bloggers, lifestyle. What else? There's also health that is coming up. Okay. Yes, there are quite a number of
subjects we have a little bit off online about the same.
Yes, although now when we look at some of the themes like health and environment, we don't have that many blogs appearing. We don't have that much content online, and that's the whole reason why BAKE was formed, in order to increase not just the quality of content that we have online, but also the diversity for us not to just talk about what is in gossip blogs, but to just have a lot more conversation online.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, amazing, because I mean, as you said, what's mostly people will get into very quickly is the gossip. Why is it that, by the way, in your opinion, that is what sells mostly? That is what people will catch on fast? It's the nature of human beings.
I think so. Even in our own lives, we like knowing who's with who and who was seen where. And the online space has just accelerated that. It has sort of taken what used to appear in the people had to wait for on Fridays in the pulse, but now it has now become sort of blown up, because now people are talking about it every day. There's new information that is appearing online every second, and that is good, because at least you can tell that people are participating in conversations online. But I'm hoping that we can get to a point where we are talking about a lot more than just who is having a tweet with who. Yeah, and gossip, and who was seen, what they wearing. It's good, fashion and all, but well, not only, that cannot be the only thing we talk about. But for you, being the director of programs, what is your role then at the Organization Association of Bloggers? My role is mainly to bring on as many Kenyans onto the blogging space as possible, by training. And the kind of training that we do is right from the basic. You have no idea what a blog is. And so I handle training where we break it down. Exactly what is blogging, how do you get a blog, how do you start by getting an email address, because you need to have an email address before you can start a blog. What are the blogging platforms that are available, what are the advantages of each over other, and how do you start blogging, right from, because blogging, as my friend Mental Acrobatics says, is the most untech thing that you can do. So it's changing that notion of, oh, blogging is so technical, I have to know coding. I hate coding, but I'm very good at blogging. So just being able to break it down, helping people get onto starting blogs, as well as taking them through some of the things that they should look out for, some guidelines on what is it called, best practices in blogging, because there are those that again go to the extreme of, yes, I've started blogging, but I'm lacking in content, so I need to go to other people's blogs, pick it and make it my own, which is wrong. That's what you call plagiarism. And those are some of the things that we enlighten those who are coming onto the blogging space and those who have been blogging on best practices, how to blog, basics of blogging, and not just blogging, how to use the other social media spaces that have been, because they work together. When you started a blog, you want people to know that the blog exists. How do you do that? You need to open a Twitter handle. So we train you on how to open a Twitter account, how to open a Facebook account, how to use what we call search engine optimization. It's basically how do you increase the traffic, the number of people who are visiting your blog. Because first it starts with quality content. If you have good quality content, people still will keep coming and reading what you have. Exactly. Then from there, how do you market it? I like that you talked about best practice, because that is important in as far as ensuring then we even have people who know what they're talking about in terms of ensuring, because it's exciting to think, oh, I'm gonna have a blog, but sustainability, and that, as you said, goes with content to avoid cases where we see people plagiarize and getting other people's material, putting it out there as though it was theirs. But how do you do and conduct this kind of training? If I, for example, want to be part of the Bloggers Association, sounds so cool, and want to open a blog, how do I go about it? There's a friend of mine who was saying that becoming a blogger has now become the in thing. It's a trendy. So everyone who's giving the list of their titles, they say, and I'm also a blogger, and it sounds so cool, but was not always the case. We actually have a training this the first Saturday of February. That's 1st February. We'll have a training on blogging from a hobby to a profession. And what brought that about is because, as I said, blogging has been around for a very long time. But most people still think that you cannot make money from blogging. Well, that was the case a few years ago, but that has changed a lot. And we have bloggers who are actually doing it full time. A very good example is Njeri. It started off as a blog, and now it has grown into a media company that is actually able now to branch off from just the blog to an entertainment site and go into radio and TV. That's just an example. So what we will be doing in that training is bring on people who have actually made a living from blogging, and from different industries. It's not just lifestyle. It's not just lifestyle bloggers. We will have a tech blogger. There will be a photographer. There will be a fashion. She's a fashion blogger, and we will also have a chef.
Awesome. Yes. Food. Let's talk about food.
Yes. So we conduct those trainings very frequently. That's the first one that we're having this year. We'll have 6 more, and the interesting bit is that now we want to take blogging outside Nairobi. We've realized that Nairobi is saturated with a lot of internet, and people have decided, okay, we want lifestyle vlogs, and probably this is not where we'll get the content. So the content that we're looking for, let's say farming, we honestly can't expect a Nairobian to blog on farming. And so we'd have to go outside of Nairobi, and so we are setting up what we're calling big chapters, which are basically the same functions of Bloggers Association of Kenya, but now in the various counties. So we will be we'll be setting up Bake. We'll be having a training in Bake in Kisumu, rather, in Mombasa, in Central. We haven't decided which part of Central, and another one in Nairobi. So in all, by the end of the year, we'll have done about 6 trainings, which are on basics.
All right, on basics, and
what we're calling blogging 101.
101. Yes, very key that we get the basics right, because we don't want Kenya 2015 and or rather 2030, and it's a whole different story of chaos online. We wanted to have some form of theme in terms of the different subjects, just having all that, and all Kenyans incorporated. So it's good that you're going to the counties and devolving your conversation as well to everybody. So before we move on, because I want to talk about a few of the topics you've seen trending online, if somebody wants more information on Bake, on the Bloggers Association of Kenya, wants to connect with you, to learn more, to be part of your training, to lend a hand, and to just be part of, where do they go?
We're online,
but
we also have a physical presence somewhere. We are located at the Nilab. That's Bishop Magwa Center on Gong Road. We're on the 4th floor. That's it's an incubation hub. Nilab, where we have an office there. And if someone would like more information, we actually have a number of websites. We have a blog, and we have a website. They can log on to bake.co.ke. And that's where you'll get information about the association. And we also run annual awards to recognize the people who have actually made an impact in their respective topics. So we award. We have 17 categories, and this year we'll be having the awards in May, and the submission phase has started.
Has begun.
Yes. So to get in touch with us, our email address is info@bake.or.ke.
Awesome. Perfect. So that conversation ends there on blogging, and we will tweet that. I'll take it from you. We'll tweet that. So follow me. You'll be able to get those contacts. But let's get to the topics online and the interesting things Kenyans have been on about. And one of them is quails. Quails. It's an interesting picture.
That conversation is still going on.
It's still
2 weeks later.
It is still going on. And it's a picture that I want to put up, and it just is interesting. First, how Kenyans think about these things. There we go. To former President and current Mr. President. So Emilio, what's up, guy? Looking good. You're in good shape. And the guy says, quails, my guy. You know, it's just amazing. And here are some of the tweets on that, called Tusker. So now that prices of quails and eggs have dropped after the quail mania, should we expect tunaomba serikali? And there are the eggs, in case you've never seen.
Yes.
There they are, quails.
That tunaomba serikali has already started.
Oh, has it now?
Yes. I was just reading about a farmer who, we as Kenyans, we are quite peculiar, as someone termed it.
Yes.
When Kenyans hear that, there's money in what was the first thing? It was this wonder tree that was called marubaine.
Yes.
Oh, marubaine is a wonder tree, and this can heal all manner of diseases. Everyone went and
there was this doctor who was being visited. I forgot where it was, and everyone was going in.
Yes, and it's the same thing that is happening with quails. So now what farmers are doing, they're ditching everything that they were doing and suddenly going into quail farming. So I was just reading about a farmer who, when he heard about quail farming has become, the nation going to make a lot of money. The guy went and ordered about 200 of them without even having done research. So the tunaomba serikali has already started.
Yeah,
because now he's saying, I need help because I have all these. I cannot feed them. I cannot sell them because I'll make a loss.
Yeah.
So it has already started.
It has.
Because most Kenyans will hear this is the end thing, and they'll all rush to it.
That picture of Kibaki and Kenyatta is just the one. Yeah, but you'll see those eggs and how they look, and the quail itself. But that also just goes to show the desperation out there for that thing that will bring that overnight success. We become a generation.
But that's a problem. That's a problem.
Yes.
There's nothing like overnight success.
That's the misconception that we have become a generation that wants it all now, today. Yes. So you hear it's quail. Hey, Mbio, everybody.
Yeah, so now actually I was reading that KWS is overwhelmed. They cannot sustain the number of, actually the queues that are at KWS are like when people were voting. There are too many orders that they cannot fulfill, because they have to give you a license for you to rear the birds. They can't keep up with the order.
It's insane. So please, if you're watching this and you are planning to get into the quail business, just quit. Now is the time. Let's go to the next thing. I wonder what the next trend in terms of good business will be. But quails was quite an interesting one and conversation online, and just the kind of excitement. But everyone needs to understand it. It's about the overnight success. Somebody once said overnight success is equals to 10 years. You'll have it in 10 years, then that's what you can call overnight success. But one of the other stories we saw, she's still making headlines. She's done Kenya proud. Have you watched 12 Years a Slave?
Yes, I have.
Do you know, when I watched it, after like 45 minutes, I was like, oh my gosh, that guy sold me a wrong 12 Years a Slave, because I was like, where's Lupita? I haven't seen her for the longest time. It takes so long before she appears in the movie.
Oh yes.
Yes.
No, I think it's because we are very excited. She's Kenyan, and we're like, she's the lead actor.
Yeah, and I was asking,
she's in a supporting role, and so she appears much later.
Yes. So for the longest time I was like, this is the wrong slave movie. This is not a one. But she's made headlines across the world, and there's one of the conversations we were having last week, of course, off of her success. It's huge. When you watch E-News, it's Lupita, Fashion Police. They're talking about her. The huge magazines as well are catching on. We've had several stories. One of them was one of the magazines that had lightened her up. She seemed lightened.
That's Vanity.
Magazine, yes. Controversial. But also, what now came into the spotlight was what she was wearing. And people complaining that she was not promoting Kenya, wearing, Kenyan-made stuff. But what you're seeing on your screen right now is her, and actually this was her Instagram page, wearing Susie Beauty lipstick. It's actually called Zamba. So I spoke to Susie last Friday, and what I was telling her is it's one thing for people to accuse her of not wearing, but it's a whole different story when are you sending merchandise to her, because the Gucci's and everybody else is bombarding her with their products. They're like, I
brought up that conversation on Twitter some time back when I think the very first nomination that she received, or award that she received,
right.
and people on Twitter were like, no, but she's not promoting Kenyan designers, and I asked, which designer has actually gone to her home,
yes,
and decided, I have decided to give this,
yes,
and if it reaches her, well and good. And I remember one designer on Twitter said, but that just sounds desperate. I was like,
the big brands are doing that. There's nothing desperate about that. She won't come and be like, hey, she's too busy, she's a superstar.
Exactly.
Hata kuja kutafuta hapa Kenya, muko wapi watu wetu? You know, because Susie sent her products. She said she'd send her products, and clearly they got to.
And I don't think someone would send, the dress, and she's like, no, I can't wear this.
Yeah. So we need to come out
we
from
haven't
our
had someone
zone.
who tried and they were turned away.
And
so
we are seeing that picture again. We are seeing somebody who tried and she wore it, and other than just wearing it on, but then she was making an appearance on Queen Latifah's show that day. So she tweeted, on my appearance on Queen Latifah's show today, I'm wearing Zambian lipstick from Susie Beauty, and says, thank you, Susie. See? So she's not only wearing it, she's publicizing it, and that's beautiful. So for all Kenyan designers watching right now, get off your seats and waiting for Lupita to come to your house and knock and be like, hi, Kenyan designer, I want to wear your dress. So I think, that was great for Susie to do that, and also Lupita, a big win. I remember a lot of feedback when I just tweeted that Instagram pic, and many people were happy, because then all the people who were saying she's not promoting Kenya.
I think we just need initiative.
Yes.
Because how long will it take for you to know where the parents stay?
Exactly.
You have the internet, and you just make a courtesy call. I don't think the guard will turn you away, or the parents will be like, wow, this is good. I mean, we have Kenyan designers who want our daughter to wear their designs. There's no designer who will be turned away. So
so it's initiative and hard work, and also understanding the dynamics of, like, some of these huge fashion houses. What has made them successful is because the minute they see you're a hit, they're all running after you. They're all, because they know you'll be photographed, you'll be talked about. So as they photograph and talk about you, they want you to be wearing their stuff, because then that rubs off on their brand. So huge lesson for our Kenyan.
We're losing out. I don't know when we will have another Kenyan make a scene like Lupita has.
But somehow Kenya just seems to be doing it.
Just lost
the opportunity. But hopefully we won't. We hope she'll continue with this huge success, and that it's not too late for the Kenyan designers and everybody else. Hair people can go there and do her hair and all, and that she can just promote that as well. So and other huge people. We've got Obama, now we have Lupita. You could be.
Although the Kenyans in Britain are very upset, because there's an award that is called EE Rising Star Award, which is a British award, which was slated for 16th February.
Right.
And unfortunately, Kenyans in Britain could not vote for her and could not even attend the event. So they were really pissed off. So the organizers of the event said, no, this is a British event. So despite Lupita being Kenyan, we cannot have Kenyans attend this event. So Kenyans are really pissed off.
Oh my gosh. And when Kenyans pissed off, they really do get pissed off. What for you stood out checking online this past week? You're telling me something about one of the tweets on Twitter and some of the efforts and projects they are doing.
I think this all stemmed from Kenyans realizing that the government is actually aware that a lot of Kenyans are online.
Yes.
And there was this joke that we just have to guess what hashtag the powers that be will come up with, or the number of Twitter accounts that are being opened by the government are so many, we can't keep up with them. So it is true that the government is actually reading what Kenyans are tweeting. And so this tweet called Just Sham It came up with an idea, a brilliant idea, just yesterday, and it was like, well, if this called Kimayo, if Kimayo is on Twitter, and he's usually very fast, especially when disaster happens.
He's active, He's on there. Bulb, imeanguka ndani ya bucket. And then the next thing,
so he's very active on Twitter, which means he's actually reading what Kenyans are tweeting. So he was like, so why don't we come up with the topic every day of things that we're tired of, and just tweet the the various Twitter handles. If it's something to do with roads and in Nairobi, we include Evans Kidero in that. We include LG Kimayo, and there's a hashtag that was to be used. So this started yesterday, and it started with matatus.
Right.
So the whole idea is every tweet takes just 10 seconds to retweet that, and tagging the various officials and using the whatever that hashtag. So it started yesterday with matatus.
Let's see how it goes, because it's about really making noise and drawing that attention. Like, we are here and this is what we are saying. Can you see?
So he was like, if we go on the streets, we might end up in jail. So this is a way of peaceful protest. It might not make that big a difference, but
and if it's so big online, it will make the news, and so it will just have that ripple effect, like we saw with some of the trending topics. They will make news even in international media. Justin has landed, has she landed yet, and all manner of topics we've seen trend. But we must end this now, 8:38 a.m. We thank you so much for being with us. Njeri Wangare, she's director of programs at BAKE, that's Bloggers Association of Kenya. I will tweet you the address how you can get in touch, because they're training. Yes, you need this.
And the training is free.
And the training is free. Oh, she adds, excellent.
Yes, sorry, I forgot to add.
People love free things.
Yes, the training is free. It will be happening at the NILAB. That's Bishop Magua Center on Gong Road, opposite Uchumi Hyper.
Uchumi Hyper. Thank you so much. I hope to have you again with us on the show. It was lovely hosting you.
Thank you very much.
All right, so before we end up the show, we have the lovely Avril with us, and we have a song that we want to get you listening to, one of her lovely soundtracks, and then when we come back, we'll have her on the conversation couch, and the conversations will continue. Thank you so much.